Okay, International Test Ban, my
Yeah,
opening speech. It will take 5 minutes, and then I will give words to you. You are
but
free to talk about East Mediterranean.
yeah, but do you see my screen now?
Türkiye Enerji Stratejileri ve Politikaları Araştırma Merkezi, kısa adıyla TESPAN Başkanı Oğuzhan Akyener.
Hem hidrokarbon hem yenilenebilir noktasında Türkiye birçok alanda yerli kaynaklarını kullanma konusunda önemli adımlar atıyor ve atmaya devam ediyor.
Ulusal bazda enerji probleminin çözülmesi için bence lokal bazda kendi enerjisini kendi üreten şehirler haline gelmemiz gerekiyor.
Evet, kıymetli TV Enerji takipçileri, TESPAN takipçileri, Türkiye Enerji Stratejileri ve Politikaları Araştırma Merkezi'nin düzenlemiş olduğu yeni bir panelle karşınızdayız.
Biz burada bunları göstererek uluslararası politikadaki etkilere değinmeye çalışıyoruz. OPEC toplantısına kadar diğer etmenlerin neredeyse etkisi sıfırdı.
Bizim 18 milyar dolarla bu gazı siz Yunanistan'a ulaştırmış oluyorsunuz.
Irak'ın Aydınlık Yüzü Türkmeneli Televizyonu'ndan merhabalar. Enerji Arayüz programının yeni bölümüyle karşınızdayız.
TESPAN Başkanı ve enerji uzmanı Oğuzhan Akyener bugün burada bizimle.
Lakin Türkiye'nin bu noktada hakları ihlal edilmeye çalışılıyor.
Enerji hattında bu haftaki konumuz TESPAN Başkanı Oğuzhan Akyener'di.
Kendi alanında ya bu sondaj ve sismik gibi alanlarda yerli teknolojiyi geliştiriyor, yerli know-how'u geliştiriyor. Bu da çok önemli.
açılış konuşmamızı yapalım. Hello there world. Selamun Aleyküm ve Rahmetullahi ve Berekatuhu. May Allah Azze ve Celle be with you. Let me introduce myself shortly. I am Mert Açıkalın, geological engineer of 16 years in the hydrocarbon industry with master's degree and MBA. I'm a geological analysis expert of TESPA. How are you all? Inshallah, everything is fine with you. In order to make ourselves happy and make this world comfortable for everyone, we need energy of two kinds. One, inner energy. Two, outer energy, which is still related with approximately 50% of the all hydrocarbons or energy consumption. To increase the first one, I can smile frequently like this and suggest to look everything from the positive of kind of view. That's an original suggestion of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, look everything from the positive point of view. And for the second one, as we come back to our topic, the suggestions we will offer to get more real energy will be about how to extract real petroleum and natural gas. Yes, under the organization of TESPA, we will focus on East Mediterranean hydrocarbon potential and productivity of the hydrocarbon there, which is the one hot top topics of the whole world nowadays. Here I have three guests who are experts on their professions. We will going to listen to them, and I'm going to ask them special questions about hydrocarbon. Then I will make the conclusions and say goodbye to you all for this time. Let me introduce you our guests shortly. First one, Professor Ergül Yaşar from İskenderun Technical University. Dr. Sohbet Karbuz, who is Mediterranean Observatory for Energy, now and research assistant at the Bilkent University. And Dr. Muhammad Abdulaziz Nal-Balochi, expert in Oman, from petroleum development. Now, let me give the words to the experts, to the academicians. They will talk about East Mediterranean in their own way. They will give us valuable information. Approximately, I will give us 7 minutes. Okay. Who are we going to begin with? Mr. Ergül Yaşar, are you ready? Perfect. Okay. Sizi dinliyoruz. We are listening to you. So.
I would like to thanks for the TESPAM for this forum. I will explain my explanation about the Eastern Mediterranean, Turkey's Eastern Mediterranean hydrocarbon potential. I will explain it in this area. What I explain in this form? Turkey Eastern Mediterranean hydrocarbon potential. Firstly, aims and goals. General situation in Turkey and discovered planet sites in the Eastern Mediterranean. For hydrocarbon exploration targets in the Eastern Mediterranean. Fifth, oil gas exploration status for Turkey. Mud volcanoes and hydrocarbon relationship in the Eastern Mediterranean. Antalya, Finike, Rhodos basins, Iskenderun basins, Cyprus and its surrounds, conclusion and recommendations. My presentation is going to be like this. Turkey Eastern Mediterranean hydrocarbon potential. Aims and goals. The Eastern Mediterranean has held an important place in the world geopolitics for centuries and has been on the agenda with global problems on its way to be becoming an energy-based economically and politically for the last 20 years. In the studies carried out in this context, it is aimed to benefit from the discovered and to be discovered hydrocarbon reservoirs, and struggle for this is continued. In this context, it is imperative to continue seismic and drilling studies for the exploration of hydrocarbon resources by clearly identifying the territorial waters, continental shelf, and exclusive economic zone elements. For this purpose, Turkey has started a hydrocarbon exploration drilling program in the Eastern Mediterranean, both originated from the continental shelf and as a result of the agreement it has made with the Turkish Republic Northern Cyprus in 2011. According to this data, it is estimated there may be natural gas resources with large reserves, especially in the Antalya offshore and Adana Iskenderun basin, in the region remaining within our continental shelf, as well as in the Eastern Mediterranean that attracted attention.
There, Ergül Yaşar, my professor, you have 4 minutes. I'm sorry, just want to remind you.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I am sorry.
Let's give the pills to the people, person.
I will arrange myself 20 minutes.
You are a top boss. We will deal later, okay?
Okay.
Please go on.
Anyway, I will situation Turkey, situation and Turkey. Drilling operation will doing by the Fatih Yavuz Kanuni ships and geophysics seismic explorations by doing the Hayrettin Pasha Oruç Reis. Why is the Eastern Mediterranean important? You have said, as you said a few minutes ago, the Eastern Mediterranean has natural gas and oil worth $10 trillion. What does it mean? It means meeting natural gas needs for Europe for 50 years. That's why, which is very important. As you see in Sevilla maps, Turkish extended economic exclusive claim border, and Greek. This one is easy boundaries according to agreement with Libyan government and notified the United States. This one is, as you see, between Greek and Italy, easy zone. For example, I have given this one. Why this one is problem with Greek? As you see in Mace Island here, also agencies here, Greek, all of them covered all agencies. Discovered and planned in the sites in the Eastern Mediterranean. When Eastern Mediterranean is mentioned, Turkey, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, Jordan, Egypt, Libya, and Turkish Republic, Northern Cyprus, and Greek Cyprus. So far, Egypt, Israel, and Cyprus have to come with hydrocarbon exploration. However, Turkey, which has the longest coastline, has been considered as having a say in the Eastern Mediterranean basin, has been disabled. The reason for this can be evaluated as Turkey limited oil gas exploration activities in the Mediterranean basin, and other countries don't allow this. However, being aware of this situation, our country has accelerated its exploration activities within the continental shelf and the territorial waters of the Turkish Republic Northern Cyprus, which have an agreement for the last 5 years. In the recent years, its Mediterranean Levanten basin has proven to be a productive hydrocarbon basin with numerous gas field discoveries, including huge reservoir size in Israeli offshore. Also, Nile in Egypt, from the southern Cyprus to Lebanon, they got the huge reservoir size in the eastern sites. Historically, areas of siliceous clastic in the basin have been specially targeted after any company's groundbreaking exploration of the Abu Madi field in Egypt in 1967 years. It is first the beginning drilling in Nile Delta in Egypt. On the only discovered resource of the Greek Cyprus administration is Aphrodite field. Its average reserves is 198 billion meter cube. Aphrodite field is a deep sea, nearly 1,800 meter, which is dry gas field. Is discovered in 2011. Italian in 2018 that the natural gas reserves was reached by descending to a total depth of the Calypso 1. Also, Exxon and Qatar Petroleum Partnership.
So, sorry, Ergül Yaşar, as far as I understand, they are claiming much more than they discover. Is it real?
Yes.
They want to make the relationships somehow, the corporations, and claiming giant fields, but which is a complete lie. Is it true?
Yes.
Yes, this is what you want to say as an academician. Thank you very much.
I couldn't understand. Say again, please.
That was very valuable to look from the academic side. It was very valuable at this point. So let's stop at this point, and we will try to give minutes to you later. Okay, sir?
Okay.
Let's give 7 minutes to other speakers. I will keep you right. Don't worry.
Just I should say one sentence, especially for mudstone. Mud volcanoes and hydrocarbon relationship in the Eastern Mediterranean, which is very important for Turkey, for petroleum exploration in this area. There is a good relationship with mud volcanoes and hydrocarbon. Turkey should continue this area for exploration, seismicity, and petroleum exploration or gas exploration near the mud volcanoes, Eastern Mediterranean, which is called mud volcanoes Amsterdam, Athens, Kazan, Kula ve Thessaloniki area or Anaximander mountains. We should explain it in the map showing mud volcanoes area in the Eastern Mediterranean. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So I underline your words. The geoscientists of Turkey, Turkish Petroleum, and all the others, they will take care. The mud volcanoes and petroleum accumulation, those attracts us. Listen to Ergül Yaşar also, please. Data integration is the topmost successful step. It's an obligation to reach success. So let's go on with Abdulaziz. Are you ready? Muhammed Abdulaziz. No, okay. There's a problem, I think, with microphone.
You're talking.
Sohbet Karpuz. Mr. Karpuz, Sohbet Karpuz, let's go on with you.
Yeah, should we continue?
Okay.
All right.
We listen you fully.
Yeah, let me first thank for the kind invitation. So I didn't prepare a formal presentation, but I will show a few slides just to make my summary a bit clearer. Can we share the screen, please?
Not important, really. It's not important.
Okay. Actually, I share the screen. If you can switch the screen. No, okay, it doesn't matter. In fact, I share the screen. It is in the second screen. Well, you know, as Professor Yaşar mentioned, the first discovery was made in 1967, Abu Madi field in Egypt, but the first offshore discovery was 1969. So these two discoveries, you see small red points on the lower left screen. Between 1969 and 2021, we arrived from almost no gas to a lot of gas. With a lot of gas, I mean total amount of gas that was discovered from 1969 till today is about 5 trillion cubic meters. So what interesting here is that the half of it was discovered after 2009. So we have a 5 trillion cubic meters, and 2.5 trillion cubic meters was discovered between 2009 and 2021. So how important is this? You know, when these discoveries and USGS assessments for undiscovered resource potential, so East Mediterranean become an important place and attracted a lot of companies. So when we look at the statistics, we see that the total amount of discoveries in East Mediterranean, in fact, is equals to what has been discovered so far in Norway. But this is one part of the story. There is also undiscovered potential in this region. So when we add the undiscovered potential, with this, I include USGS assessments and also the assessments from Greek Cypriot officials concerning their area or their proclaimed exclusive economic zone, which are not covered by the USGS assessments. So when we look at that, so discovered plus undiscovered potential, East Mediterranean has, in fact, more gas than Norway. But when we add other countries in the North Sea, meaning Denmark, Netherlands, and the UK, we see that total amount of gas or gas potential of the region, in fact, is equivalent to the North Sea. So that is why the region is very, very important. Now, as you know, USGS made two assessments, as our esteemed professor mentioned, one for Nile Delta and the other one was for Levant Basin. Both have been made in 2010, these two assessments, and they show that the undiscovered, technically recoverable resource amount is about 10 trillion cubic meters. So this is a huge amount. So when we add this yellow area, which are not covered by the USGS assessments, so we add another 1.7 trillion cubic meters. So in overall, we are close to 11 trillion cubic meters. But in July this year, USGS made another assessment for the East Mediterranean area. It showed that the technically recoverable undiscovered resource potential in the region is 8.1 trillion cubic meter. So interestingly,
despite... I just want to ask a simple question. Sorry. I just want to ask a simple question. Can we easily believe in the research results of USGS?
Well, this is based on the sample cores. Well, these are assessments. You cannot believe. You can only believe the resource assessments when you find the gas, and that comes with drilling. As long as you don't drill, this is the assessments made on the paper. You don't know. But so far, it showed that the discoveries since 2009 show that this should not be neglected. This amount. So USGS made this second assessment.
Scientific expectations. Everything's okay.
Yeah, scientific expectations. So the reality is different. You have to drill for that. And interestingly, this assessment did not make any noise, despite we see in almost every technical presentation or article on East Mediterranean, there is a quote from USGS.
Thank you very much, sir. You have 2 minutes left. I'm sorry. I'm the time cutter here. That's the most difficult job here. Okay,
no problem.
Please go on. You have 2 or 3 minutes.
This is the area covered. So the people said that, well, before USGS assessment, we were saying 10 trillion cubic meters, and now it says 8 trillion cubic meters. Is it a downward revision? In fact, it is not, because the area covered in both assessments are different. So in yellow, you see Nile Delta Levant Basin in 2010 assessment, and in 2021 assessment, it goes further to north and the west. So the assessment is the coverage is different. And in fact, when you take into account of the amount of discoveries since 2009, in fact, the new assessments show that the expectation for undiscovered resource potential is upwards, revised upwards. The amount is 0.6 trillion cubic meter. So this is, I will stop with this one. So what this shows is that in the new assessment, so there is a huge potential, since still it was also the case before. The first important place is the Nile Delta Basin, the second Levantine Basin, and the third one is interestingly the south of Cyprus. And on the west part, the USGS assessments are rather pessimistic. This is despite the fact that the whole expectation in Egypt is the western part, where the USGS says that there is not enough gas. Well, if there is not enough gas, and this area, this complete area on the west part, is unexplored, only 2 wells have been drilled. And we see Exxon, Chevron, Shell, Petrobras, all the big guys are there. So this is another reason. There is an assessment on the paper, but these guys are the guys that find the gas. So don't believe the gas assessments. So you have to drill. Yes. So I can stop here.
Mr. Karpos, I will ask you a question. What do you think about south of Antalya, Finike, and Herodot basins for especially mud volcanoes? It is like Baku mud volcanoes in that area. What do you think about for petroleum explorations in that area?
I don't know how much the area is covered by seismic, 3D seismics.
200 kilometers squares in that area.
Yes. The issue is that, as I explained before, it is the region, especially Turkey, all Mediterranean coast of Turkey, is unexplored. The amount of drilling that took place until now it is 17, I think. A few years ago, it was 13. 13 wells for whole area. This is nothing. You know, Malta, you cannot even locate on the map. It is just a point. Even in Malta, the amount of drilling that took place is 13. So Malta, that you cannot see on the map even, drilled 13 wells. And Turkey, with a huge amount of continental shelf area, we drilled only 13,
Okay,
and
so
in the past few
thank you very
years,
much.
another
17.
four. So we have
So,
to drill.
Rafi,
We have to drill.
Mr. Topel Karpuz suggests to drill, huh? We can't know without drilling, so I also agree with you.
Not enough 17 drilling.
Okay, so let's give words to
Not enough.
our guest, Muhammad Abdulaziz. Muhammad Abdulaziz, can you hear me?
Yes,
Abdulaziz,
yes, I can hear you. Yes,
that's fine.
I can hear you. Yes. Do you hear me?
I also know your
Do you hear
studies about Mediterranean salinity and oil accumulations, huh? Mediterranean
Yes.
salinity and oil accumulations. That was original studies of you. So please also
Yes.
mention about them and go on about East Mediterranean. Okay. So you are now on the screen. We listen to you.
Yeah, I hear a lot of noise, background noise. Yeah, if you can mute, that would be great. So thank you very much, and good morning to everyone. Thank you for inviting me to participate in this energy forum, which is very important in the region, where it attracted the interest of the major companies.
A little bit louder, please, sir. Don't hesitate. We like your sound. We want to hear it fully from the east. Just keep it a little volume more. Okay? More energy.
Hello.
Abdulaziz, it is hard to hear sometimes you. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I wasn't able to hear you very clearly. There is a lot of noise.
That's better. Anyway.
So this presentation that I'm giving is part of my PhD research that I carried out at Imperial College London, where I looked to the entire evolution of the Eastern Mediterranean from the onset of the rifting until its recent fill with hydrocarbons. But the focus of my presentation today is only...
Okay, that's fine. Keep it like this, please. Yes.
You hear me? So the focus of my presentation is a petroleum fill of the hydrocarbon traps, and the relationship with the fill of the traps with the salt deposition, and hence the title, the gas exploration of the Eastern Mediterranean and the impact of the Messinian salinity crisis. So some of the audience might also be puzzled with the term Messinian salinity crisis. So in here, Messinian, we are referring to, the word Messinian refers to the geological age, which is late Miocene. And the salinity crisis refers to the event where we had a sudden drop in sea level and the position of a very thick sequence of salts. We're talking about 2,000 meters of salt. And all of this happened because of the disconnection between the Mediterranean and the Atlantic Ocean, because of the closure of the Gibraltar Strait. So we are looking into the impact of this drop in sea level and salt deposition on the pre-existing hydrocarbon accumulations and how this led to the redistribution of the oil and gas in the region. But before I dive into this, let me just have a brief highlight on the major discoveries in recent years in the Mediterranean. So if you move to the next slide, please. So the Eastern Mediterranean basin started attracting real interest of the major E&P companies with the discovery of Tamar and Leviathan gas fields back in 2009 and 2008, where Tamar was estimated to hold 8 TCF of gas and Leviathan 16 TCF of gas. And later on in 2011, Aphrodite gas fields in the Cypriot water was discovered, and it was estimated to hold 7 TCF. So back then there was like some sort of a fierce competition among the E&P companies, and notably Eni, the Italian company. They devoted a lot of their resources into really understanding the geology of the basin, and this was marked by the discovery of Zohr gas discovery in 2016, which is the Mediterranean largest gas discovery to date, 30 TCF of gas. And later on, after the discovery of Zohr, Cyprus has and is still being a bright spot for exploration with a string of gas field discoveries. Namely, these included Total and Eni 6 to 8 TCF gas fields, Calypso in 2018, and later on in 2019, ExxonMobil and Qatar Petroleum discovered 4.5 TCF Klakos gas field. Now, if you move to the next slide, please. This is just to show the presence of the major E&P companies. We can see clearly Shell and BP dominating over the Nile Delta, Eni over Cyprus, Cypriot water, and Total over the Levant. And next, please. I'm just showing the cross section, the line that where we carried out our petroleum system modeling. So this is a 230 kilometer long line from the Levant margin to the Eratosthenes Sea Mountains, where we try to carry out our modeling. So if we go next to the next slide. The next slide is just to show the rationale behind our study, where we think that the future success in the exploration in the Mediterranean will not only be dependent on having a very robust prospective.
Abdulaziz, I am sorry to say that you have 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, this is
please quick a little bit. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you. I want to listen to ours, but this is the program. Okay, let's speed up.
Anyway, well, the highlight of this message, this slide, is that during the Messinian salinity crisis, we had a drop in the sea level. So if we imagine that we have hydrocarbon accumulations before the drop in the sea level, which is the first figure top bottom left. So we had like 2 traps, one with the gas cap, and one with the oil only. So when we started dropping the sea level, so that would be associated with the depressurization for our oil accumulations. So the gas will dissolve from the oil, creating a gas cap, and the original gas cap will
Abdulaziz, where are you? We lost you again. This is the problematic side of this online things. Okay, if you say okay, let me ask you the questions. Now his time is also finished. I have 5 basic questions to our valuable academicians. So, questions are, let me summarize. What is the hydrocarbon potential of the East Mediterranean, do you think? Do you guess?
Okay.
Yes. Muhammad Abdulaziz, your time is finished. I'm sorry. Now I'm asking 2 questions, okay? Thank you very much for your valuable contribution, sir. I am watching your studies stepwise. Ask you some technical, difficult questions later. Okay.
You can ask questions. Yes,
now let's begin with Ergul Yaşar and ask him questions. I'm just going to ask you simple questions, okay? I know you're academicians. I'm also coming from the academic background. You have many terminology, you have the background, foundation, but people listening to us usually have difficulty to understand the skills of the general world, okay? So I'll ask you simple questions. Please try to be as simple as possible. Try to give examples as simple as possible, as understandable as possible, so that we'll join the world. We'll join Turkish world, okay, with the other worlds. So let's begin with Ergül Yaşar. Sir Ergül Yaşar, what is the hydrocarbon potential of the East Mediterranean do you think? Biz bu Doğu Akdeniz'den ne çıkarız abi? Tahmin nedir? Yes, we'll listen to you. Ses gitti abi, ses alalım. Ses geliyor mu size? Bana gelmiyor ses. Ergül Hoca'yı duyabiliyor musunuz?
Tamam, açtım.
Ha, şimdi oldu. Buyur hocam. Buyur hocam, hemen alalım yarım dakikada.
Şimdi şöyle söyleyelim.
What do you expect from? Yes.
Doğu Akdeniz'de özellikle Türkiye'nin münhasır ekonomik bölgesi içerisinde Sohbet hocamın tam tersi şekilde şunu söylüyorum. 17 tane tabii ki sondaj ya da toplam 30 tane sondajın çok yetersiz olduğu bir ortamda özellikle Antalya'nın güneyinde, Finike açıklarında aynı Bakü'deki petrol sistemine benzer nitelikli bir petrol sistemi var hocam. O nedenle o bölgenin çok iyi bir şekilde araştırılması ve Türkiye'ye kazandırılması lazım. Çok aynı Bakü'deki petrol sistemine benzer sistem bizim münhasır ekonomik bölge sınırlar içerisinde jeolojik yapı itibariyle değerlendirdiğimizde orada büyük petrol yatakları var. Bu Türkiye'nin sınırlar içerisinde ve Türkiye için. Tabii ki dünyanın
thank you very much. This is also a secret to Turkish world. It's much better to keep it in Turkish. Okay, let's give the second question to you. What kind of methods do you need to use on the way going to the hydrocarbon exploration? Would it not be a good idea, Sir Ergül Yaşar, to increase data collection quality, number of data interpretations, and number of wells? Okay, 15 seconds. Ergül Yaşar. Sir Ergül Yaşar.
I couldn't understand what is the question.
Let me ask again. What is the extra methods should we use on the way going to hydrocarbon exploration? Is it not good to increase number of wells, data quality, number of interpreters like you?
First,
we increase number of academicians like Sir Ergül Yaşar, Sir Saffet Karpuz, Sir Abdulaziz Al Balochi, so we will reach to success, I think, better. What is your ideas?
Firstly, we should make the seismic explorations, seismic research, and wells. After that, we must do a lot of wells open that area.
I see. So you also believe in data integration and integration of the academicians, I think. You also believe this. If we increase the number of academicians and data interpreters or scientists, so it will make us nearer to find the giant field, huh? Do you think?
Yes, please.
It's a better.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Giant reserves in that area.
Thank you very much. Let's give words to other speakers, okay? Because we have limited time, very limited time. Sohbet Karpuz, Sir Sohbet Karpuz, I want to ask the same question to you. Let me repeat one more. Okay, what is the hydrocarbon potential of the East Mediterranean, do you think? Do you think we are going to find the Hazar field of Azerbaijan, something like that, huh? Just an expectation. You don't need to give numbers. You know, you can even share your beliefs. No, don't hesitate. Okay, words are with you.
I have big hopes on East Mediterranean, either in the Western East Mediterranean or like Professor Yaşar mentioned in the Turkish in the area Turkish continental shelf. But look, in Lebanon, 98% of Lebanese exclusive economic zone is covered by 3D seismic. In Turkey, we don't have enough. So let's do seismic and interpret the results and find the locations and drill. This is that is it. I mean, We have to increase the studies, both seismic and after seismic studies and drilling. That is it. But in general, I have big hopes. Yes, I still believe that East Mediterranean is equivalent to North Sea and maybe even more. The only thing is that we need a geological game changer. So far, all the discoveries are gas. Well, if we find oil, everything will change. I have big hopes. Maybe a few more giant fields like Zohr. Why not? Why not? But we have to drill.
We have to drill. Okay. So second question is also to you. What kind of extra methods do we need to use on the way going to hydrocarbon exploration? Would it not be a good idea to increase data collection quality, number of data interpreters, and also number of wells? I also mean international, assembly between the nearby countries. If we increase number of wells, we can get more success, I think, to find a giant field.
Yeah, but it is not only drilling well. So after you do the seismic, better than me, you have a lot of work to find appropriate areas to drill, the real prospects. So this involves academics. This involves cooperation with international companies or service companies. Drilling alone is not sufficient because it is costly. To drill deep wells, it costs over $100 million. So you need a lot of background study, and whatever the new methods for the interpretation of finding the best locations or prospects to drill, this has to be done. I mean, I cannot give you a specific methods or whatever. There is a lot of trademarks in this area, but we have to look what the best interpretation methods are. That is it, and that in a way is also a part of the cooperation with the others.
As far as I see, you both believe that you Sohbet Karpuz, Sir Sohbet Karpuz, and Sir Ergül Yaşar, you academicians believe that we need to increase the number of wells, okay?
Three-dimensional seismic prospection, firstly.
Yes.
Prospection and making alliance, an international, assemblies, alliance, so that we're going to understand the underworld much more clearly, so that we know where we are, sedimentology, your deposition sites, the mud volcanoes, seepage, etc., interrelations. So this will solve the conflicts, I believe. So thank you so very much for your valuable contributions, for your one way reminding the importance of East Mediterranean to Turkey and to the world by using this platform. I am going to give the closing speech and then say goodbye to all. Thank you very much. You want to make a small? If you want to make a small addition, I can give the words to you. Do you want to make a small addition, Sir Sohbet Karpuz, Ergül Yaşar, before closing?
No.
No.
Thank you very much for your organization of this forum.
We also thank to you, sir. Okay.